Okay, so I am officially starting with a frozen image. Let's try better that way. Okay, so thank you for everybody for joining us. This English webinar that we're doing. Webinar is a European Union project which is looking at new pedagogic and methodologies to teach maths for primary school students, 8 to 12-year-olds. And we're working as a team from all over Europe. And I'd just like to very briefly name and introduce our presenters today. We've got a lot, we've got a whole team. We have Oliver Thiel, who's Dr. Oliver Thiel, who's a teacher of teachers at the Queen Maud University College in Trondheim in Norway. Oliver, do you want to give a wave, or are you frozen?
Do you see me? Hi.
Oh, yes. Yep. Thank you. Yes, a wave from Oliver. We've got Dr. Jorn Lavishas, who I always say incorrectly, who will correct me when he speaks himself, who's at the Fachhochschule Bielefeld, which is in Germany, and Jorn is a professor of mathematics. Have Armin Hopman, who's just returned from 5 years of traveling around the world in Ethiopia, who is the head of media studies and media education for Culturing in Berlin. We're very happy to have, at quite short notice, Ivana, and please excuse if I say your name wrong, Ivana. Ivana
Kowalik.
Thank you, Kowalik.
Kowalik.
Thank you. Who's at the Szkoła Podstawowa, number 26, which is in Poland. And Ivana is a real special guest because she's actually done the vidumath project autonomously in her school, and she'll tell us about that experience. And then there's little old me, Joel Josephson, and my job is to talk a lot in projects. And I work on dissemination and communications within the projects as well. Now I'm just going to speak a little bit about the project, and then I'm going to hand over to my colleagues. As I've already mentioned, it's a European funded education project under the Erasmus Plus project program for primary school and lower school, secondary school students. And the whole idea of the project is to lower the barriers to learning mathematics, and particular difficult areas that primary school children have. And we'll explain how that can be done in a moment. The very nice thing about this project and how we look at the way that learning can be done for this age group, or all age groups, is that they can work autonomously and collaboratively and own and produce and direct their own work, which I think is a wonderful way of learning and embedding learning with children all across their school. We really believe that students are the video generation. The children today, they live on video, and I've seen this with my children as well, because video allows a very deep interaction, and in this case a deep interaction with mathematical ideas, and it builds a deeper understanding of the area that you're trying to teach. It's very much a tool of motivation and engagement, and because we're looking at different areas of the brain being used within video and within a visual setting, it aids retention and understanding. I'm now going to hand over to Oliver, who's going to take these concepts a lot further than I can and I do.
So I'm a professor in mathematics education, and I'm especially interested in how children learn to understand mathematics, not only learning the algorithms, but to have a deeper understanding of the concepts. And I think the theory of David Kolb about experimental learning suits very good our ideas of vidumath. So he says, and he builds his theory on Dewey's ideas about learning. Learning from experience. So we start with concrete experiences. Children have concrete experience in everyday life and all over. And then we have to reflect those experiences. We have to think about, the children have to think about what it what have I experienced, what's the meaning of this, and that leads to understanding. That means that leads to development of an internal concept of the mathematical ideas. So that is pretty much what Dewey said in his theory about having an experience, but then expands this and says, but when we have an abstract concept of the mathematical ideas, we have to prove it if our understanding of the mathematics is correct. So we have to make experiments. And that leads to new experiences. And that fits very good to what we do in vidumath. So children in school already have some understanding of mathematics. They have already made experiences at home and in everyday life, in kindergarten and in the classes before in school. So they have some understanding. And we can start with this. And then in the video, in making videos, they have the possibility to actively experiment with their mathematical ideas, and that leads to experiences, and then reflecting the learning process is a very important part of our concept, and that leads to a deeper understanding, to new mathematical concepts, or a deeper understanding of the mathematical concepts they already had. So that so-called describes it as a circle, but in fact it is not a circle, because we don't end at the same point where we began. We got a deeper understanding. So it's maybe better to describe it as a spiral. And that is exactly what Jeremy Bruner said about learning mathematics. He described it as a spiral, and I like this quote about creativity, that creativity builds on what we already know, but goes further beyond what we already think. So we get new ideas. And Bruner also developed these ideas of that there are three different ways in how we can represent mathematical concepts. It starts with an active way, that the children really have to manipulate concrete materials. And the next step is that we make pictures of the mathematical ideas. That is more abstract, because in a picture I cannot see what is happening. I have to imagine what is happening. I have to imagine that I take away something, or here in this example that the cars drive away. And the next step is the formal, the symbolic representation. And in the symbolic representation, I don't see at all what is happening. I have to understand the symbols to understand the meaning of this representation. And nowadays, we have a fourth representation, that is language. So but language is in fact related to all the others, because that is what we do in parallel. So when we do inactive activities, then we talk about what we are doing, and that helps the children to internalize the ideas. And I think video fits very good in here, because video, that is between inactive and iconic. The video is about pictures, but it is not still pictures, it's living pictures, it's motion pictures, and the work of making a video, that is pretty much inactive. So the children have to do a lot, work a lot to make the video, and that helps them to understand the mathematical concepts deeper. And here is the steps how we work practically in doing vidumath. That starts with the preparation of the teacher. So you have to decide which mathematical topic, for example, you want to work on. And that is a very important point, because our experience shows that it has to be a topic that is challenging for the children. if it is just making videos about something I already know, that is fun for the children, but then they do not learn that much about mathematics. But if it is a challenging problem, then it will work, then it will be an effect on the learning as well. And you have to decide the video technique and so on as well. Then you present the project to the children, explain the video technique they will use, and often the children can have more experience in how making videos than the teachers. So that is often not a problem at all. But you have to present the mathematical task as well. And then the practical work starts, but it starts not with the filming. It starts with planning the filming. So a very important part, I think, is that the students shall create storyboards, because that is an iconic representation of the mathematical ideas, a description of what will happen in the video. And so that is an important part of internalizing the mathematical ideas. And here you see a picture of me working with children in Bulgaria, in Sofia. And that is a practical part where we prepare the materials and take the pictures. That was mostly stop motion videos we have done on, and I think Armin will tell a little bit more about the technique later. So the next step is the filming, taking the pictures, and there the teacher has not much to do, but to check if the video is correct. So we have sometime experienced that the children have not done that what they have already planned in the storyboards. So there are some corrections maybe are necessary, and then they can fix it in this part of the work better than to show a wrong video at the end that may be embarrassing for the students. The post-production is a very important part for the media education, so I think Armin will say a little more about this later. For the mathematical learning, the last part, the reflection, is very important. And for the motivation, it is important that the students appreciate each other's videos so that they have first positive commentaries, remarks on the videos, but you can, after you have said something positive as well, say, yeah, so I like this idea, that is very funny, or that is expressed very good, but then you can discuss as well if there are other possibilities to solve the mathematical problem or better ways to visualize the mathematical ideas. So there you look at different videos from different groups as well, so the children work in smaller groups, 2, 3, or 4 students. So you have a lot of videos produced in one class, and you watch all the videos and compare the videos, find out which solutions are easier to understand maybe. So this reflection about the experiences in the process of making the videos, that is an important part of the learning process, as Kolb taught us and Julie taught us.
Okay, so thank you very much, Oliver. That was extremely well put. I think the important thing now is actually to get more flavor of where we're going with video. So we'd like to show one of the introductory videos about the piloting now. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Most of the video work that we've just seen are clips from the children's autonomously made videos. The children actually doing all the filming, setting up the stage, setting up the direction, etc., and deciding on their own problems and what they're going to answer as well. I'm now going to hand over back to the presentation, and I'm going to hand over to Jorn, who's going to talk to you about some of the workshops we've done with teachers and other work that we've done in the project. Over to you, Jorn.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So a vital part of vidumath is working with teachers, doing teacher workshops in particular, also going into classes and actually doing hands-on experiments, hands-on pilots and case studies. But we've done a lot of workshops already. There's one upcoming. So we did workshops in Sofia and Coimbra. Right last week we did workshops in Bielefeld and in Leipzig, and there is a final workshop upcoming in Berlin. We work with teachers, primary school teachers, but also teachers in the more advanced degrees, to give them a feeling what videos can do in mathematics, how to handle the devices. Of course, there's also part of those workshops, but mostly it's about what to actually do with the children in your class, what will help in your mathematics teaching. The first concerns everybody has are about technology, and this is also what we learn in those workshops. So some things are really hard, even today. So we used to work with old-fashioned digital cameras and Windows machines, and now we switched to apps, and we really had to learn the hard way that mobile devices are outdated pretty quickly. So maybe you have a 3-year-old tablet and the app that is up to date doesn't run on that machine anymore. That's tricky, as we learned. Be careful with that. In our workshops, the teachers and teacher students bring with them their own devices, which really shows what situation you would have in the classroom as a teacher. There's iPhones, there's Android devices, iPads, maybe there's even Windows devices. So you would have to handle two or three different systems in different generations. There may be a very new Android device and a somewhat outdated Android device. That's maybe tough for teachers to handle, something we are going to cover with more documentation on what to do, which apps to use, to give you a hand with that. Most of the apps are intended to be used with the cloud. Everything is easy. If you upload stuff to YouTube, if you upload stuff to Dropbox, to Facebook, everything is very easy. If you want to preserve privacy, in particular for your pupils, things are not that easy, and we also provide some guidelines on how to handle these things without uploading everything to the cloud. So there's some tricky spots that can be handled, but in every workshop we are going to learn, we are learning that you have to take care of many things. What it's all about is, of course, mathematics and video making. The teachers in the workshops and teacher students in the workshops, we see them really concentrating, focusing on the mathematics, what to cover, what topics to use, not to use, which tasks to put their students through, and so on. How to actually work with the diverse materials, and maybe just 20% or so of the workshop time is actually used for filming and shooting, because the apps as such, the cameras as such, are very easy to handle. The hard part begins when you want to add titles, when you want to add music, when you want to not upload everything, put it somewhere else. The actual shooting is very simple. That's easy to learn in just 1 minute. we see that the students and also some of the teachers, the pupils and some of the teachers tend to do something they see on YouTube, Kant-style videos, where equations are derived, formulas are being written, which is not 100% that what we intend. We intend to have more visual elements, visual explanations, visual metaphors. So maybe that's something to take care of when you do your own experiments and how to guide your own pupils, guide them towards visual representations, not equations. And a good way to start, as it turned out, is to think about misconceptions. Think about what goes wrong with a certain topic that you want to cover in class. What are typical misconceptions, like adding fractions by adding numerators and adding denominators? That would be a standard one. There's tons of them. The meaning of the equal sign, things like that. These are great topics to start working with video. Ask your pupils to demonstrate what they can do, and ask them to show what these signs, for instance, equal signs, what they mean and what they do not mean. And you can observe and learn about misconceptions and hopefully get rid of those misconceptions. So far from my side, and I guess we should be showing another video, if I'm not mistaken.
Not yet, Jorn.
Not yet? Oh, sorry. Okay. So far from my side.
All right. So thank you very much, Jorn. That really gives a nice picture of what we've been doing, what you've been doing the last week or two with your teacher workshops. It's very interesting to see. Now, from the other side, as I say, we're very lucky to have Ivana with us, and who's actually used vidumath in her class, and she's going to talk about that experience, what support she did and how she did it. And at the end of her presentation, we're going to show one of the videos that was made by her within her school, by the students in the school. So Ivana, if you can turn your mic on, please, and speak, so we know you're there. No, we can't hear you, Ivana. Can you just check your microphone at the top of the screen? No, we can't hear you yet. So please, can you check the microphone go to the menu bar at the top of the screen, and the little microphone, make sure it's green. Can you see it there? There's a little microphone button. No, we're not hearing you.
Now, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Great.
Hello?
You. Okay, so over to Ivana.
Great.
Great, thank you for that.
Okay. Thank you. My name is Iwona Kowalik. I am a math teacher in primary school number 26 in Wrocław, Poland. I am passionate about using new technologies in teaching. I love projects, especially international, and that's why I am a member of eTwinning and Edmodo community. I've done so far 18 international projects and eTwinning projects and 3 global projects. I tell you a few words about my experience with vidumath. This year, in February, I think, I read Joel's post on one of the eTwinning group's forum, and I thought that vidumath can be a great opportunity to engage my students in learning math. This project seems to be very attractive for students because they became teachers for their colleagues, and they can use their smartphones or tablets, and they love it. In March, we decided to join the project, and we presented our school to partners. We've watched also movies prepared in Norway, Bulgaria, on Wiki. First, I started to work with 4 students who are gifted in math. Together, we determined the list of topics, the most difficult for students, like fractions or scale. Next, we learned how to use stop-motion studio app. It turned out very easy for my students, and they love it. We chose one topic. We prepared a script for our movie. Later, we prepared background, light, and props, and we recorded our first movie. We used also a movie maker. I use our movie during my math classes to explain how to compare fractions with the same denominator. Our movie was very useful and helped my students to understand this topic, so I proposed next student to join us to explain other topic. I told them about our experience with using stop-motion app. I didn't choose any groups. Students organized their own teams. There were 3 or 4 students in every group, and every group chose one topic. I asked them to show me scenarios before they started recording, but some groups didn't do it, and there were some math mistakes in their videos. They didn't notice them. So I showed those mistakes, but I didn't tell how to fix them. And it was a big success because all groups improved their work by themselves. There were no technical problems. Math is universal language, so my students didn't have to use English to create movies. It was very important for students who have some problems about English. Team worked on preparing movies was a great opportunity for my students. They learned from each other. They played a different role working together. They had to share ideas, prepare materials, and share responsibility for their common work. They also became more creative. They had an amazing opportunity to improve and develop 21st century skills. They were so proud when they presented their videos to other students during math classes. It was very important that my pupils had fun while learning, and they were very active. Teacher played only role of supporter. My students love vidumath. They want to continue our participating next school year, and I would recommend this project to other teachers because it is very good method to teach and learn math. Thank you.
That was lovely, Ivana. That's it's so nice to hear from a teacher who's actually done it and experienced it and got that feedback from their students and can see the positive results. It really makes the work we do so much more live and fulfilling, shall we say. And I think at this point we should show, I don't know if we picked the right video, Ivana, but we picked one of the videos and hopefully you agree it's a nice one to show. So can we please show that, Jorn?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
That's great, and I think it's very important that that video shows it so nicely that it's not really the quality of the videos that we're making. It's the videos is the motivator to build learning, and the children are so proud of what they do as well. So it's a very fulfilling, a real learning experience, and I love all these videos. We've got almost 80 or 90 now made by students from Portugal, Germany, Norway and Poland now as well. So really, really nice. Finally, I'm going to ask Armin, who's our video specialist, to just speak about the resources that are online that you can use and see. So over to you, Armin.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Can you hear me? Yeah. I can't use my camera. There's something very strange. It does really weird zooms. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Ivona. I was also very excited to see what you're doing. That's really great for me as a coordinator of the project, because often we just work on ideas and it's so nice to see that it's actually possible. So thank you again for doing that, and thank you for Oliver and Jörn for bringing in some input about our project, and thank you European guests, teachers, colleagues who are actually interested in what we do. This is a really nice space and platform to share what we're doing. Before I talk about the resources, I wanted to say a few things about where I come from and why I have pushed this idea of vidumath. I have actually nothing to do with maths, so I'm not like Oliver, Jörn, and also Piedatis and our team here. I'm not a math expert, I'm a media educator, and for me it's really important to bring the media more into the school, not as a vocational or technical training, but as a media educational thing. So I'm always really keen to look for new ideas. How can we connect media education with language? I did lots of projects with language teachers, also with history. History fits very well with media education, and this is for me a very new idea to try and use maths, and I'm really excited about all the ideas and about the success we had so far. I didn't expect it would go so easily. We had lots of great workshops and lots of nice things. So for me, the goal of vidumath is of course that video supports maths learning and helps reflecting on what you've learned, also that it motivates students who might maybe struggle a bit more with maths, and where video can give that kick and make it a bit more interesting, but also that we foster the media competence of the children. Now, Oliver talked a little bit about this already, about creating a message, reflecting on a message, and this is exactly the core of media education. How can I produce a message? What do I need to do? How does that come across to somebody else? This whole idea of communication. Young people spend ages watching hundreds and thousands of hours of videos on YouTube, especially, as we can see just in front of us now. And they're produced, but there's often not enough questions asked. Why do I do it like this? Why do I even produce a video about this and that? And I think this needs to come more into school. So this is very much where I come from. Yeah, there's lots more to say about that. If you're really interested in media education, I maybe quickly put a link to my main website in, which connects to everything we do here, mediaeducation.net. But I wanted to, at the end, connect a little bit about the resources we have in front of you. You see one of our YouTube playlists, and there's a link on the bottom. I think one of you, Virginia, I think, has asked already, can we put this PowerPoint online? And I put in the chat, yes, we will do it as a PDF on vidumath.eu/events, so you can have the links there as well. My playlist has about 60 or 65 videos now, lots of examples from students, also some of our collections, some about our meetings, some interviews of our experts. There's quite a nice varied mix of videos what we have there. Then something that's really, Joe, what you should talk about, maybe I leave that for you for our final word, is our wiki, vidumath wiki. So I jump over there. Facebook is also a space where we bring in ideas and news and what we've done, new videos, or if you have anything you want to share, please feel free and invite your colleagues as well, so that this space can grow. And of course the website, that's a bit more what I'm in charge. The website is a work in progress. At the moment, most of the material is in English, but we have some first things in German and Norwegian, and we will also have more Bulgarian and Portuguese translations in the months to come. I think at the moment, most interesting really for you is if you go to content, and if you go to pilot materials, join in. I think that's where most of our ideas are at the moment, our step-by-step guides, where you find the pilot videos. So this is very much the core of our project to go into. Yeah, I'm not saying thank you. I think, Joel, you should do that. Yeah, I really appreciate your interest in our project, and I hope we can somehow stay connected. And if you have questions, you can contact us through Facebook or through the website, please do. And it would be really great if you want to do a project yourself and do what Ivana has really done so nicely and share your results. But Joel, I suggest you do a final word about Wikispaces. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Armin. You explained it very nicely, as you always do. You must have noticed I put some of the links that Armin was just talking about into the chat there, so they're a little bit easier to copy if you want them. And I've also put my email address at the bottom, which will give you a point of contact if you want to ask more or you need more help. I'd be very happy to arrange a Skype meeting or some other online meeting with you, and we can talk about and help you actually use the project in your school. Armin just mentioned the Wikispace, which I've gone back to, and I'll just explain what we've done there. Is that each of the schools that have taken part in the project are given a page on the Wikispace, and there the teacher registers and we give you editing rights, and it allows you to use that as a page to place the videos and to say something about your school. So this gives your students not only the ability to show their work to all the other schools who've taken part in this project and to look at what they've done, and for you to perhaps even get into conversations with them. If you want to, we can help to arrange that as well, to make a little point of contact. And this is a growing idea that we're building on. So we can support you in finding the right resources and talking you through the resources and offering you support to try the project in your school. And then you can we'll help you set up on the Wikispace, if you like, so you can show your work to the world and to all the other schools in Europe. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I think it's usually, as I started, it's my turn to finish. So first thing we want to do, of course, is ask if you have any particular questions that I can then put through to the group. Anybody writing a question like when's supper or what's tweet tonight? Okay. So, oh yes. Okay, it's just writing. Thank you. Okay. So obviously, if you do have any questions or you want to know more, do please write to me. As I say, the email, I'll just put it again if you want it to have it. And do feel free to write to me with anything that you'd like to know. And it remains to me to say thank you very much to Oliver for giving such a nice explanation of how this works at the pedagogic level. Jorn, who spoke to us about the workshops and the working area that he's been running and doing in Germany in the last few weeks. Armin, who really does know a huge amount about media education, has been applying it in so many different situations in education across Europe. And finally, of course, to Ivana, who so kindly, only yesterday, when she contacted me and I said, would you like to talk a little bit about what you did, has jumped straight in, both feet forward, and done a beautiful explanation, which is so exciting for us all to hear, on how she implemented the project on her own in her classroom in Poland without any, well, once we spoke through it, she did it basically on her own and using the resources that we made available. So thank you very much to all the presenters, and thank you very much for everybody for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, thank you all.